Hello students. So இன்னைக்கு நீங்க எல்லாருமே வந்து 12th physics board exams எழுதிட்டு கொஞ்சம் அப்பாடா அப்படின்னு உட்காந்துருப்பீங்க. பட் இருந்தாலும் நம்ம அந்த கொஷின் பேப்பர்ஸை ஒரு வாட்டி கொஷின்ஸை எப்படியெல்லாம் வந்து கேட்டிருக்காங்க, ஸோ அதை எப்படியெல்லாம் நீங்கள் ஆன்சர் பண்ணியிருப்பீங்க அப்படிங்கிறத ஒரு வாட்டி டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிட்டா இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் ஈஸியாக இருக்கும். பட் யாருமே வந்து கவலைப்பட வேண்டாம், ஈஸிலேருந்து மாட்ரேட்குள்ளே தான் இருந்திருக்கு கொஷின் பேப்பர். ஸோ அதனால் உங்களுக்கு நல்லாவே ஸ்கோர் வரும். இதை கவலைப்படாமல் இதை பற்றி யூ கோ ஆன் வித் கெமிஸ்ட்ரி எக்ஸாம் அடுத்து, சரிங்களா? ஸோ அதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம ஒரு சில கொஷின்ஸை வந்து டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிடலாம். முக்கியமாக மல்டிபிள் சாய்ஸ் கொஷின்ஸ், அசர்ஷன் ரீசன்ஸ் அண்ட் ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ். ஸோ அது வந்து செட் வைஸ் நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிடலாம். ஸோ லெட் அஸ் கோ இன் டு த வீடியோ நவ். ஸோ ஃபஸ்ட்டு செக்ஷன் வந்து நம்ம மல்டிபிள் சாய்ஸ் கொஷின்ஸ் பார்க்க போகிறோம். ஸோ இதை நான் ஃபஸ்ட்டு வந்து செட் ஏவை தான் எடுத்திருக்கேன், மீன்ஸ் செட் 1 தான் எடுத்திருக்கேன். ஸோ அடுத்தடுத்த செட்ஸை நான் உங்களுக்கு மறுபடியும் வீடியோ போடுறேன். பட் இப்போதைக்கு செட் 1 கொஷின்ஸை நம்ம பார்க்கலாம். ஸோ இதில் ஃபஸ்ட் கொஷின் பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, two small identical metallic balls having charges q and minus 2q are kept far at a separation r. They are brought in contact and then separated at distance r by 2. Compared to the initial force F, they will now. ஸோ 4 ஆப்ஷன்ஸ் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. இது முக்கியமாக வந்து காம்படிட்டிவ் எக்ஸாம்ஸ்க்கு ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க, இப்போ ஜேஇஓ இல்லை நீட்டுக்கோ ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு இது ரொம்ப சிம்பிளாக தான் தெரியும். ஸோ இட்ஸ் வெரி சிம்பிள் கொஷின். ஸோ ரெண்டு சார்ஜஸை வந்து ஒரு டிஸ்டன்ஸ் ஆரில் செப்பரேட் பண்ணியிருக்கும் போது ஒரு ஃபோர்ஸ் இருக்க போது, அது ரெண்டுத்தையும் கான்டாக்டில் கொண்டு வந்துட்டு மறுபடியும் தேர் கோயிங் டு செப்பரேட்டட் வித் டிஸ்டன்ஸ் ஆஃப் ஆர் பை 2. ஸோ இப்போ இந்த ஃபோர்ஸ் எப்படி இனிஷியல் ஃபோர்ஸோட ரிலேட் ஆயிருக்கு, தட் இஸ் வாட் இஸ் த கொஷின். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் தே ஹவ் given you 4 ஆப்ஷன்ஸ்: அட்ராக்ட், ரிப்பல், ரிப்பல், அட்ராக்ட். ஸோ இதில் டிஃபால்ட்டாகவே நம்மளால் வந்து ஈஸியாக சொல்லிட முடியும். எப்படி அப்படின்னா, இப்போ இனிஷியலாக வந்து Q அமௌண்ட் ஆஃப் சார்ஜ் இருக்குது, -2Q சார்ஜ் இருக்குது, தேர் செப்பரேட்டட் பை டிஸ்டன்ஸ் R அப்படின்னா F K கான்ஸ்டன்ட். ஸோ அதை பற்றி கவலைப்பட தேவையில்லை, ப்ரொபோஷனாலிட்டி மட்டும் எடுத்துக்கலாம். ஸோ F இஸ் கோயிங் டு பி ப்ரொபோஷனல் டு Q1 Q2 பை R² அக்கார்டிங் டு கூலும்ஸ் லா. அதே மாதிரி இங்கே Q இன்டூ -2Q டிவைடட் பை R². ஸோ கேன் ஐ டேக் F ஆஸ் ப்ரொபோஷனல் டு -2Q² பை R²? இது இனிஷியல் ஃபோர்ஸ். அடுத்து என்ன பண்றாங்க, they are brought in contact and then separated at distance of r by 2. so கான்டாக்ட்ல கொண்டு வரும்போது என்ன நடக்கும், so இப்போ qவும் இந்த 2q -2qயும் கான்டாக்ட்ல கொண்டு வரீங்க அப்படின்னா you have to add the charges and divide it to 2, because when they come into contact they both are going to exchange their charges, right? so எவ்வளவு எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணும் அப்படின்னா ஈக்குவல் அளவுக்கு வர மாதிரி எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணும். அப்போ ஈக்குவலா எப்படி வரும், that is how. so q minus 2q by 2க்கு தான் வரும். ஸோ அப்போ எவ்வளோ வந்துடும் உங்களுக்கு, q minus 2q is minus q by 2. அப்போ இப்போ என்ன ஆகிடும் அப்படின்னா, ரெண்டு ஸ்பியர்ஸ்க்கு நடுவில் minus q by 2 minus q by 2 அமௌண்ட் ஆஃப் சார்ஜுக்கு நடுவில் வந்து இப்போ according to the question it is separated by distance of r by 2. ஸோ இப்போ இதோட ஃபோர்ஸ் என்னவா இருக்கும், F is going to be proportional to minus q by 2 into minus q by 2 by r by 2 whole square. So it is going to be proportional to what, minus into minus plus. அப்போ q square by 4 divided by r square by 4. So 4 cancels. So it is going to be proportional to q square by r square. Now இப்போ நீங்க வந்து like contactல வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறமா செப்பரேட் ஆகும்பொழுது they became what, like charges. அப்போ என்ன ஆகணும், ரிப்பல் தானே ஆகணும். அப்போ ஆப்ஷன்ஸ்ல இருக்கிற அட்ராக்ஷன் வராதா, right? Okay. So now எவ்வளோ amount of force it is related to initial. Let me take final as F dash. Initial force எவ்வளோ இருந்திருக்கு, F is proportional to minus 2Q² by R² இருந்திருக்கு. அப்போ இதை வந்து நான் ரிலேட் பண்றேன் அப்படின்னா, can I take this Q² by R² as F dash, which is going to be final? So அப்போ F dash is going to be what, F by 2. F by 2. So it is going to be what, it is going to be a repulsive force. அதனால தான் ஒரு subtraction வருதுங்க. So it is going to be repelled with a force F by 2. See this question. The figure represents the variation of electric potential V at a point in a region of space as a function of its position along x-axis. A charged particle will experience the maximum force at. So உங்களுக்கு வந்து இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கிராஃப் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. இதில் P, Q, R, S, T இந்த மாதிரி 4 பாயிண்ட்ஸ் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. V versus X கிராஃப். இதுல இருந்து மேக்ஸிமம் ஃபோர்ஸ் எந்த பாயிண்ட்ல இருக்கு அப்படின்னு கேக்குறாங்க. சோ மேக்ஸிமம் ஃபோர்ஸ் எப்படி இருக்கணும், see பேசிக்கா how the potential and force are related. Generally we have a formula E is equal to minus dV by dr. இங்க x ன்னு வெச்சுக்கலாம், dV by dx, which is going to be potential gradient. And you know what is going to be electric field, it is nothing but force per unit charge. So dV by dx. So dV by dx ங்கிறது ஒரு Vx curveல you can see it as a slope. So f is proportional to slope now. So அப்போ எதுக்கு ஸ்லோப் அதிகமாக இருக்கோ அதோட ஃபோர்ஸ் மேக்ஸிமமாக இருக்க போகுது. ஸோ இப்போ இந்த பாயிண்ட்ஸில் பியில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஸ்லோப்பே இல்லை, ஸோ 0. கியூவில் வந்து ஸ்லோப்பு கான்ஸ்டண்ட்டாக இருக்கு, ஆர்லேயும் ஸ்லோப் இல்லை, எஸ்ல வந்து ஸ்லோப்பு கம்மியாக தான் இருக்கு. அப்போ ஆன்சர் என்னவா இருக்கணும்? கியூ. ரைட்? ஸோ this is how you will be solving this. So இந்த கொஸ்டின் பாருங்க. The magnetic flux through a loop placed in a magnetic field can be changed by changing area of the loop, the value of the magnetic field only, orientation of the loop on the magnetic field only, any one or more of the factors given in A, B and C. So we know pretty well magnetic flux is generally given like BA cos theta. So magnetic field நாலும் change பண்ணலாம், area நாலும் change பண்ணலாம், orientation of the coil நாலும் change பண்ணலாம். So any one or more factors. Which of the following statements is not true of for electric energy in AC form compared to that in DC form? So production of AC is economical, AC can be easily and efficiently converted from one voltage to other, AC can be transmitted economically over long distances, AC is less dangerous. So இதில் actually வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா which one is not true அப்படின்னு கேட்குறாங்க. So which one is not true னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? False. கரெக்டா? So இதில் எது false? AC can be transmitted economically over long distances தான் false. Actually AC is less dangerous அப்படிங்கிறது true தான். And AC can be easily and effectively converted from one voltage to another. Again using transformers you can do that. Production of AC is economical, yes. So still now we are using different types of power plant which only generates AC, right? Okay. So அடுத்த question பாருங்க. The magnetic field in a plane electromagnetic wave traveling in a glass is n equal to 1.5 is given by, so By is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 7 Tesla sin alpha x plus 1.5 into 10 power 11 t, where x is in meters and t is in seconds. The value of alpha is, so they are asking us to find what is alpha. You know the general equation, so By is equal to B naught sin kx plus omega t. Correct? So this is going to be the magnetic field's equation in an electromagnetic wave. So you can relate it, so it is nothing but k is nothing but here alpha. Correct? அப்போ k என்ன value? 2 pi by lambda. But lambda நம்மளுக்கு தெரியாது. Instead they have given you omega value. So omega is nothing but 1.5 into 10 power 11 which is equal to 2 pi f. Right? So if it is going to be 2 pi f and you know what is going to be lambda, because we know very well what is lambda. So it is nothing but velocity is equal to displacement by time, which is nothing but lambda into nu. So you can take lambda as velocity by nu. Yes, so velocity by nu. So velocity is nothing but velocity of light. So c by nu nu எடுத்துக்கலாமா? So substitute that here. So what you will get? Omega is equal to 2 pi f means, so 2 pi f, so 2 pi f which is going to be 1.5 into 10 power 11. So you can find out what is going to be frequency. So frequency is going to be 1.5 into 10 power 11 divided by 2 pi. Right? Substitute everything in this. So k is equal to 2 pi divided by lambda is equal to c by nu. So c is going to be 3 into 10 power 8 and nu is going to be frequency here which is going to be 1.5 into 10 power 11 divided by 2 pi. So 2 pi cancel, 1.5 2. So it's going to be 0.5 into 10 power. So 10 power 8 mala pochna, 10 power 11 minus 8. So it is going to be 3. So option A. So 0.5 into 10 power 3 meter inverse. So see this question. Light of which of the following colors will have maximum energy in a photon associated with it? So energy and light colors, how it is related? You know E is equal to h nu and you know hc by lambda is going to be E. So inversely proportional. So எதோட wavelength கம்மியா இருக்கோ அதுக்கு energy maximum இருக்குமா? And கொடுத்திருக்கிறதுல எதுக்கு wavelength கம்மி? Red light is greater. So blue light. So VIBGR, right? So blue light is going to have lesser wavelength where its energy is going to be greater. See this question. Nuclides with the same number of neutrons are called isotrons. You can directly go with it. The radius of a nucleus of mass number 1.25 is. So you know R is equal to R naught A power 1 by 3. So R naught into 125 cube root. R naught is 1.2 femtometers into 5. So it's going to be 6 femtometers, right? Yes. So option A. So this is the answer. Let us move on to the next one. So see this question. The energy of an electron in an orbit in hydrogen atom is E is equal to minus 3.4 electron volt. Its angular momentum in orbit is, so you know angular momentum is nh by 2 pi according to, so you know L is equal to nh by 2 pi. So if it is going to be equated here, so you know very well we can find out n using this. So minus 13.6 divided by n square is equal to minus 3.4. So it is going to be 4 and n is equal to 2. Substitute it here. L is equal to 2h by 2 pi. So 2 cancel. It is going to be h by pi. So the answer is h by pi. So see this question. A good diode checked by a multimeter should indicate high resistance in reverse bias and low resistance in forward bias, high resistance in forward bias and reverse bias, low resistance in both reverse bias and forward bias, high resistance in forward bias and low resistance in reverse bias. See basically PN junction diode if it is, so when you have forward bias condition it has to conduct. In reverse bias it has to resist. So what it means, reverse bias la adha resistance adhigama irukano, forward bias la kammiya irukanuma. So the answer is yes. So high resistance in reverse bias and low resistance in forward bias. Okay, see the next question. The RMS value and RMS and the average value of an AC voltage V is equal to V0 sin omega t volt over a cycle respectively is. Over a cycle, complete cycle, always average voltage and average current is 0. So if it is going to be that case, then average voltage is 0. So obviously you have only one option. So you can write it like this. So RMS value obviously V0 by root 2, right? So next is assertion and reason type questions. This is the options which you have. And see this. Induced EMF produced in a coil will be more when the magnetic flux linked with the coil is more. That is assertion. Induced EMF produced is directly proportional to the magnetic flux. See basically நீங்க பாக்கும்போது இது கரெக்ட்ன்ற மாதிரியே இருக்கும். ஏனா ஃப்ளக்ஸும் EMFும் ரிலேட் ஆயிருக்கு. ஆனா change in flux தான் EMF induce பண்ண போகுது. Correct. அப்போ இந்த क्वेश्चनல பாருங்க, induced EMF produced in a coil will be more when the magnetic flux linked with the coil? No. Why? Change in magnetic flux more இருந்தா தான் EMF அதிகமா இருக்கும். So அப்ப assertion false ஆ? Right? So assertion false நாலே ஒரே ஆப்ஷன் தான். It is going to be which one? Assertion false, both assertion and reason false. அது மட்டும் தான் ஆப்ஷன்ல இருக்கு. Of course the reason is also false because induced EMF produces directly proportional to magnetic flux? No. It is directly proportional to change in magnetic flux. So the option is D. Both assertion and reason are false. See this question. In Young's double slit experiment, the fringe width for dark and bright fringes is the same. Yes, of course we know this. Fringe width is given by beta is equal to lambda d by d where symbols have their usual meanings. Yes. So in this case, assertion is true, reason is also true, and the reason is correct explanation for assertion. See this question. Energy is released when heavy nuclei undergo fission or light nuclei undergo fusion. Of course, both the cases, the energy is going to be released. For heavy nuclei, binding energy per nucleon increases with increasing Z, while for light nuclei, it decreases with increasing in Z. No. Binding energy per nucleon versus atomic number oda graph உங்கள்கிட்ட இருக்கு. So அந்த graphல பார்த்தீங்கன்னா you will have a trend where the lesser atomic number valued nucleides is going to increase with increasing in its binding energy. So it is contradicting, which means assertion true but reason false. So it is going to be option C. So let's move on to the next one. Photoelectric effect is a spontaneous phenomenon. Of course, yes. According to the wave picture of radiation, an electron would take hours or days to absorb sufficient energy to overcome the work function and come out from the metal surface. No, because assertion is contradicting to the, reason is contradicting to the assertion. So obviously, assertion is true, but reason is false. So it is going to be option C, right? And next is 2 marks. See this question. An electric iron rated 2.2 kilowatts and 220 volt is operated at 110 volt. So supply voltage is 110 volt. They are asking us to find the resistance. So you know P is equal to V square by R, where R is going to be V square by P. So in this case, the resistance is going to be found out with the help of the rated values. Okay, so because that is fixed values. So V is going to be 220, so 220 into 220 divided by 2.2 into 10 power 3. So 220 into 220 divided by 2.2. So it is going to be what? So 2.2 into 220 is, it is going to be 200s are 200. So it is going to be 2.2. So it is 2.2. So it is going to be what? So 22. So 10 power 3 means this cancels. So it is going to be 22 ohms. The resistance is 22 ohms. Okay, see this question, no? So the second part of the question is heat produced by it in 10 minutes. So T is going to be 10 minutes. So which is going to be 10 into 60 seconds. So 600 seconds. Okay, but in this case, the heat is produced when it is operated, right? So the voltage should be 110 volt. So can I take H is equal to V square by R into T, and V is going to be 110 volt in this case. So 110 into 110 divided by 22 into 600, right? So 11 tens are, 11 twos are, and 2 fives are, right? So 5 6 are 30, so 3, so 33 into, so 10 power, how much? So 5 6 are 30, so 10 adula poichuna idhilum poiduchu, so 10 power 4, 33 into 10 power 4, or otherwise 330 kilojoules. So this is going to be the heat energy which is produced. See this. A current of 4 amperes flows through a wire of length 1 meter and a cross-sectional area 1 millimeter square when potential difference of 2 volt is applied across it. Calculate the resistivity of the material. So it's very simple. So rho is equal to RA by L. So what is R? R is given like, no, they didn't give you, but instead they have given you potential. So 2 volt and current is 4 amperes and length of wire is 1 meters and area is going to be 1 millimeter square, which I can write it like 10 power minus 6 meter square. So R is going to be what? V by I, right? So VA by I into L. So what is V? 2 into A is going to be 10 power minus 6 divided by current is 4 into length is 1. So it's going to be 0.5 into 10 power minus 6 ohm meters. So this is the answer. See this question. A tank is filled with the liquid to a height of 12.5 meters, which is going to be the real depth of water. So it is going to be 12.5 meters. The apparent depth of the needle lying at the bottom of the tank is measured to be, so apparent depth is given like 9 meters. Calculate the speed of light in liquid. So we know the refractive index can be done like real depth by apparent depth, and the refractive index can be done like C by V. So they have asked you the speed of light in the liquid. So can I relate it? So V is equal to what? C by RD, which is real depth, into apparent depth. So C is velocity of light in vacuum. So 3 into 10 power 8 divided by real depth is 12.5 and apparent depth is 9. So obviously how much it is going to be? 27 divided by 12.5 into 10 power 8. So it's going to be so 25, 20. So again it's going to be 1, right? So something like that. So 2.1 into 10 power 8 meter per second. So this is going to be the velocity of light in the liquid. Clear? Right. Okay, see this question. Suppose a pure silicon crystal has 5 into 10 power 28 atoms per meter cube, which means what? N is given like 5 into 10 power 28 atoms per meter cube. It is doped with the 5 into 10 power 22 atoms per meter cube of arsenic. Arsenic is what? Pentavalent. So if this is given, you can directly take it as number of atoms is going to be, see, pentavalent is going to give you 1 free electron for each silicon crystal. So obviously how many atoms arsenic is there, that much amount of free electrons are going to be there. So can I take number of electrons is going to be 5 into 10 power 22, right? And then calculate the majority and minority carrier concentration in the doped silicon. Obviously it is going to be n-type because arsenic is being doped, and number of electrons is going to be your majority charge carriers. So this is going to be majority charge carriers. Minority is obviously it is going to be number of holes, and they have given you the intrinsic concentration. So it is going to be 10 power 16 per meter cube. And you know Ni square is going to be Ne NH, and NH can be written like Ni square by Ne. So Ni square is what? 1.5 into 10 power 16 into 1.5 into 10 power 16 whole divided by Ne is going to be 5 into 10 power 22. So 15, 15, 2, so it's going to be 2.25 by 5 into 10 power 22, 32, so it is going to be 10, and this is going to be how much? So 0.45. So can I take it like, yes, 0.45, and they have asked you to find out number of minority charge carriers. So if it is going to be minority charge carriers, I can take it like 45 into 10 power 8, correct? Meter per cube. So this is going to be number density of holes. Okay, see this question. Two parallel plate capacitor X and Y are connected in series to a 6-volt battery. So they are going to connect two capacitors into a 6-volt battery. Let this be X and let this be Y. They have same plate area and same plate separation, but capacitor X has air between its plates, whereas capacitor Y contains a material of dielectric constant 4. You know pretty well, C dash by C is equal to kappa. So can I take C dash, which means X or Y, Y by X is equal to 4. So Y is equal to 4 times X, right? Let's calculate first question. Calculate the capacitances of X and Y if the equivalent capacitance of combination of X and Y is 4 microfarad. So equivalent capacitance is C1 C2 by C1 plus C2, which is going to be XY divided by X plus Y, which is 4 microfarad. And you know what is Y? It's going to be 4x. So obviously 4x into x divided by 5x is equal to 4. So 4 cancels. So x cancel, x is equal to 5. So 5 microfarad is going to be the x value. And if it is going to be Y, it is going to be 4 into 5. So it is going to be 20 microfarad, which is going to be for Y. So X capacitance and Y capacitance is found. So that's it, right? So X and Y is found. And what about the B section? So calculate the potential difference across the plates of X and Y. So you have to calculate what is going to be the potential. So let it be Vx, Vy. So you know Vx plus Vy is going to be 6 volt. And in this case, you know the potential is going to be related with the capacitance if the charge is constant, because they both are going to be in series. So if that is the case, Q is equal to Cv. So both if I equate it, I can take it like Vx by Vy is going to be Y by X, correct? So if it is the case, Y is going to be what? 20, X is going to be 5, so it's going to be 4. So Vx is equal to 4 times Vy, 4 times Vy. So when I substitute that here, so you will be having it as 4Vy plus Vy is equal to 6. So it's going to be 5Vy is equal to 6. So Vy is equal to 6 by 5 volts. So let me calculate it. So it is going to be 1.2. So Vy is 1.2 volt. So what about Vx? So Vx plus Vy is only 6. So if it is the case, then Vx will be equal to 6 minus 1.2, which is 4.8 volt. So Vx Vy is found, right? Okay, see the next question. Write the expression for magnetic field due to a current element in vector form. You know this. Consider 1 centimeter segment of wire centered at the origin carrying a current of 10 amperes in positive x direction. So let me have this. So let this be the 1 centimeter segment of wire, right, carrying a current of 10 amperes in positive x direction. Calculate the magnetic field B at point somewhere here, 1, 1, 0. I require to find out what is going to be the magnetic field at this point. So since it is originally placed, this distance 1, this distance 1, then it is going to be what? 1 square plus 1 square is going to be root 2. So it's going to be root 2, right? So the distance between this position and that is going to be root 2. So you know what is going to be the magnetic field due to a straight current carrying conductor? It's going to be 2 pi A and mu naught I by 2 pi into root 2, right? So what is the values? You have to substitute it. So 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 into I is going to be 10 amperes divided by 2 pi into root 2. So pi cancel, so 2 cancel, so root 2. So it's going to be 1.414 into 10 power minus 7 into 10, which I can write it as 14.14 into 10 power minus 7 Tesla. This is going to be the magnetic field at this point P. Clear? See this question. Photo emission of electrons occurs from a metal whose work function is given 1.96 electron volt when light of frequency 6.4 into 10 power 14 hertz is incident on it. They have given you the incident of frequency of light. They are asking us to find what is the energy of photon in the incident light. So you know E is equal to h nu, right? So what is going to be h? 6.6 into 10 power minus 34, and frequency is going to be 6.4 into 10 power 14. Of course it is in joules, so you have to convert it into electron volts, so you have to divide it into 10 power 16. It's going to be 4, so 4 into 6.6, no? So 24, so it is going to be 26.4 into 10 power minus 1. So it's going to be 2.64 electron volt. This is going to be the energy, right? So this is going to be the energy of photon of incident light. So this is the second question paranga. So they have asked you to find out maximum kinetic energy of the emitted electrons. So you know, according to Einstein's photoelectric equation, the incident energy is going to be utilized for part as work function and the other part as kinetic energy. So K is equal to h nu minus phi naught. So h nu is going to be 2.64 minus 1.96. So 1.960, so it's going to be almost how much? 2.64, 1.96. So it's going to be 86, so 0.68. So this is going to be 0.68 electron volts. This is going to be the kinetic energy. The stopping potential, you know pretty well, the stopping potential is going to be EV naught is going to be K max, right? So if you have K max and V naught, you can easily calculate what it is. So obviously it is going to be what? So V naught is going to be 0.68 volt. So this is going to be your stopping potential because E and E cancels, so you will be having this. Okay, right. So let us move on to the next question. So see this question. The electric field E in the region between the plates is. So they have given you a case-based study here. So they have taken two plates and they are going to connect it through a potential difference of 200 volt with a place separation of 0.01 meters, and there is going to be an electron which is going to move horizontally with a speed of 3 into 10 power 7 meter per second, and the length of the plate is going to be 0.05 meters. Okay, it's very simple, you can just go through it, and let us move on to the problem directly. The electric field E vector in the region between the plates is. So you know they have given you the potential and the distance of separation. So you know E is equal to minus dV by dx. So minus V by d. So because they have told you to give it in vectors, obviously we require this. So minus V by d means minus 200. D is going to be distance of separation, which is going to be 10 power minus 2. So if it moves up, so it is going to be minus 2 into 10 power 4. Correct. So 2 into 10 power 4 volt per meter. So it's going to be option D, minus 2 into 10 power 4 volt per meter along K cap. Right? Okay, let us move on to the next one. See this. In the region between the plates, the electron moves with an acceleration. So basically, you know, acceleration is given like A is equal to E by m. Right? So this is what is acceleration. And you know what is going to be magnitude of electron. So 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. And electric field is just now we found out. So it's going to be minus 2 into 10 power 4. So it's going to be minus 2 into 10 power 4. Whole divided by mass is 9 into 10 power minus 31. Correct. So it's going to be minus 3.2 divided by 9 into 10 power. So 31 if it is moving up, 31 plus 31, 35. So it's going to be 16. Right. So 16 and you know this is going to be this and 0.327. So 0.3. So it's going to be 3 into 10 power 15. So minus. So option A. So 3.5 into 10 power 15 meter per second square, right? Okay. So see this question, time interval during which an electron moves through region between the plates. So we know pretty well, we know we have already given with the velocity and we found out acceleration. So from that it will be easy for us to calculate. So acceleration is velocity by time and time is going to be velocity by acceleration. And what is velocity? 3 into 10 power 7. And the acceleration which we found is it's going to be minus 3.5 into 10 power 15. So minus 3.5 into 10 power 15. So obviously it is going to be almost 9, no? So it's going to be 9 into 10 power minus 9 seconds. See this question. The vertical displacement of electron which travels through the region between the plates. You have to be very careful in this because they have asked you vertical displacement. But the question is, it moves horizontally. Okay. So vertical displacement means how it will be. You know pretty well, when you have plates here and when it is connected to a potential difference, right, there will be a field moving downwards. So the electron is going to move horizontally, but the field will give some force so that the electron will move downwards. So they are asking us to find what is going to be the vertical displacement of the electron which is moving. For that, what you have to do is, we have to take the relation with respect to electric field in this case. And you know E is equal to V by D, correct? Yes. So in this case, you have to provide the field which is already be given across these plates, and you are going to find out what is going to be D, or you can even write it like X. So can I take X as V by E? So what is the potential which is given? It is going to be 200. And what was the electric field which we found? So electric field was, yes, 2 into 10 power 4. So you just use that. 2 into 10 power 4. So how much it will be? It's going to be 100. So if it moves up, it's going to be 10 square into 10 power minus 4. It is going to be 10 power minus 4. Sorry, minus 2. So it's going to be how much? 10 mm. Okay, see this question. Which one of the following is the path traced by the electron in between two plates? It's very simple. So obviously the electrons will move towards positive, and the force will obviously attract more. So the expulsion will be more, right? So it is moving with a greater velocity. So B and D. But once it is coming out, obviously it will take some time to move away, correct? So obviously it is going to be D, right? So see this question. The resistance of a metal wire at 20 degrees Celsius is 1.05 ohms and at 100 degrees Celsius is 1.38 ohms. Determine the temperature coefficient of resistivity of the metal. So you know pretty well R is going to be R naught into 1 plus alpha into T. So they have given you two temperatures and two resistors, and they have asked us to find what is going to be the temperature coefficient. So you can directly take the ratios. So say for example at 20 degrees Celsius it's going to be 1.05 and it is going to be 1.38 at 100 degrees Celsius, and 1 plus alpha into 20 divided by 1 plus alpha into 100, right? So when you solve this you will get alpha. So you can just solve it. So 1.05 into 1 plus 100 alpha is equal to 1.38 into 1 plus 20 alpha, right? If you solve this, you will get the answer, right? Okay. So this is all about the problems and the MCQs which you got in set 1 papers, and we will discuss in the we will discuss about set 2 and set 3 paper in the upcoming videos. Thank you.